The breathtaking setting of the Monte Rosa range and the majestic aspect of the Matterhorn are entrancingly beautiful. From time immemorial, they have held mountaineers and hikers spellbound. These glacial landscapes have been around for millennia. People who enjoy and protect these glaciers have a special duty. They must ensure that development is sustainable so that future generations will also have a piece of unspoiled nature to appreciate. Sustainability is also a guiding principle for Holcim. We take responsible use of natural resources very seriously. Only those who live with nature and protect it can live from it in the long term. Holcim quarries stone to produce cement, gravel and concrete. We put a lot of effort into creating new habitats for flora and fauna in areas where we have mined. Holcim is geared up for innovation. We invest in new environmentally friendly building materials and sponsor pioneering projects such as the new Monte Rosa hut. This is the site for the rock crystal, 100 meters above the old Cabaña Monte Rosa. It took 6 years to plan and a construction team has been working here since June. The new Monte Rosa hut will be a high-tech construction and a model of sustainability. It represents a collaboration between ETH Zürich and the Swiss Alpine Club SAC, supported by Holcim and other partners. The rock is hard and time is short. The construction workers install the concrete core and a series of sockets in the rock. The foundation must be in place before the onset of winter. 12 days later on the site and the concrete foundation has been completed. Now the steel construction engineers are at work assembling the steel grid, the actual foundation. The new Monte Rosa hut will then be built on the steel construction next year using prefabricated timber sections. But before that, the long alpine winter will descend. Spring 2009. Master carpenter Egon Buhmann makes a visit and site managers and architects for the new Monte Rosa hut exchange progress reports. On his computer in the office, Bruno Schacher draws the building elements of the hut, every single one. He receives the planning data digitally from ETH Zürich. The Monte Rosa hut will be 6 stories high, built from 420 prefabricated timber elements. It will be almost self-sufficient in energy thanks to the very latest technology. Sustainability is the watchword, from construction to operation. The computer sends the data to the machine. It simulates the cut, quick check, then produces the element from Valais spruce, accurate to the millimeter. Production has been running at full speed since the beginning of March. Floor and wall elements are assembled and lined with insulation mats, and pipes are laid. Getting the materials to the building site and assembly will place heavy demands on logistics, and the weather has to cooperate. Still 4 weeks to go before construction can begin. The construction workers are optimistic. The building site presents itself in early morning light. Day 2 of construction starts. Here is the star-shaped steel grid that will form the foundation for the timber construction. Yesterday, the builders cleared the site of 2 meters of snow. Today, the timber elements for the basement will be flown in and assembled. Everything must go quickly. Time is money. Every 9 minutes, the helicopter takes the floor elements from Riffelboden to the building site, each one weighing more than 400 kilos. Like the pieces of a jigsaw, they're fitted precisely into the steel grid. By noon, the inner circle of the floor has been laid. In the afternoon, the helicopter brings the outer floor elements. Cooperation between the carpenters, pilots and flight personnel is perfect. It's tough precision work at almost 3,000 meters. At 4 o'clock, the last of the 20 elements has been placed. Foreman Martin Bornet checks the measurements. Now all that's missing is the helicopter. Then at 11:30, the K-Max, a special helicopter for heavy loads, brings the first wall. Beneath the rope dangles 1,720 kilos. Assembly takes 2 hours. At 1:45, the last of the 10 basement walls is finally in place. The basic structure of the Monte Rosa hut is up, just 3 days after the construction began. 4 weeks have passed since our last visit to the construction site. The workers have now hoisted 5 stories and the outer walls have been erected. Around 20 craftsmen are at work here now. Window fitters are now putting in the windows, specially made to withstand the raging storms that often sweep over the peaks up here. The joiners are now working on the interior. The basic structure of the first floor cafeteria with its timber beams is complete. The row of windows that acts as a light and energy trap is also in place. It's Friday morning at ETH Zürich. A.Deplazes and his colleagues plan the next steps. It's now all about the details, color scheme, door handles and carpeting. A.Deplazes and his team have produced the design for the new Monte Rosa hut with their architectural students at ETH Zürich. But what do they aim to achieve?
The mountain hut as such was not actually that interesting for me, but I liked the idea of a building in a place that of course cannot be linked to civilization in any way, or at least not to the extent that we are used to in the city. In other words, no drainage, no water, no electricity. All these requirements cannot be taken for granted. So the students had to deal again with the question of what a building actually is. How does it work? Where do we get these things that we need every day? And of course I'm certain, I'm sticking my neck out here, that it will be the best mountain hut that you have ever seen.
The short mountain summer draws to a close, but there's still intense activity on the Monte Rosa building site. Metal workers add the facade, a demanding task. The protective aluminium sheathing must withstand wind and frost. And one day, it will make the building glisten like rock crystal. The in-house power plant is almost ready. 100 solar panels on the south-facing facade will supply the house with electricity from sunlight. Dawn over the Monte Rosa Massif. The new hut is still in the shade of the 4,000-meter peak. The scaffolding was recently removed. It's 8 a.m. and the start of the last day of construction. The terrace is still not complete. The carpenters fit the last planks. The final spurt on the building site. This laboratory was financed with the help of sponsors who paid 2/3 of the more than the 6 million francs it cost to build. Meinrad Eberle, he launched the project in 2005 to mark ETH Zürich's Jubilee. What does he hope to see the new hut achieve?
This project will motivate many people to come more often to the mountains and find pleasure in the world up here. It will ensure that the technologies in the building will be used in more projects. And I hope too, of course, that aesthetics will play a greater role in buildings in future.
The rock crystal shines. The new Monte Rosa hut glistens. It is a masterpiece of Swiss engineering and a symbol for the country's innovative power. It opens a whole new chapter in Swiss alpine building. ETH, the Confederation and cantons, companies and private patrons have made this breakthrough possible.